Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Fine. Would you mind?
Looking for something?
No?
Work for the railroad?
No?
Agricultural department?
No.
Oh, then you're with the...
We're with the county surveying department.
Guess you're surveying something for the county, huh?
That is a fair assumption.
Water main? Suspension bridge? Well, we don't need no water main or suspension bridge. What we really need is a road. That what you're surveying, a road?
Look, mister, if you want any information, you'll have to talk to the supervisor.
I need some wood chop for the stove.
Kate, never mind the wood.
Look, I gotta cook dinner.
Kate, what would be the greatest thing that could ever happen to the Shady Rest?
You're moving out?
I'll put it to you another way.
I like it that way.
Hey, the county's going to put a road right by our front door.
What?
There's two surveyors down by the tracks working on it right this minute.
Well, did they tell you they were surveying for a road?
Of course not. They wouldn't say anything when I asked them.
Well, what makes you think they're going to build it?
Well, if they'd told me they were going to build a road, I'd have known they weren't.
Uncle Joe, you better lie down till you feel better.
Hey, we haven't any time for resting. I got to figure out some signs to put along the road advertising the Shady Rest Motel.
You did say motel.
Yeah. Hey, I got some great ideas for signs. Real eye catchers. They'll make the itinerant motorist stop short and drive in, like old-fashioned accommodations with modern prices.
Oh, that's a real brake jammer.
For every room with a view of the bathroom.
Oh, I think you better clear that with the road department first.
We're going to need some to tickle the motor and public's appetite. Make it sound like we got good cooking here.
Any kind word will help.
How about a catchy little jingle like, no sense in speeding when you could be inside feeding?
It's got something, but I wouldn't care to say what. You mind if I try one? Roses are red, wood is brown. You better chop some or move into town.
I've rechecked my figures 3 times. I don't know how a mistake like this could have happened.
You know, when you come to think of it, it's pretty funny.
I hope Mrs. Bradley thinks so.
Would you mind telling me that again, Mr. Craig?
Well, the county policy is to do a new survey every 25 years. So today...
Just the last part.
Well, when we checked our figures against the previous survey, we found that...
Just the last part?
Well, what it boils down to is that the boundary line between Hooterville County and Pixley County runs right through the center of your hotel.
Right through the center?
Yes. The line is about here. Right now, you're in Pixley.
Now I'm in Pixley.
Yes.
And now I'm in Hooterville.
Exactly.
Pixley, Hooterville.
Right. It's only an imaginary line on a map. Actually, you're still living in the same place.
Well, I'm certainly glad. I've lived all my life in Hooterville County, and I like it here. I mean, here.
Well, that's understandable. Say, I have to get back to work.
Well, thanks for telling me, Mr. Craig.
I'm just glad you're not angry with us.
Oh, why should I be angry when everything's the same?
Oh, everything's the same, except,
Hooterville, Pixley.
Right. Goodbye, Mrs. Bradley.
Goodbye, Mr. Craig. Hooterville, Pixley. Hooterville.
What a mistake, huh?
Mm-hmm. Hooterville, Pixley.
No road?
No road.
Oh.
You know, I'm kind of sorry. I liked a couple of those signs you thought up.
Now I'm going to have to think up a whole batch of new ones.
What for?
Kate, don't you realize this is the greatest thing that ever happened to you? It's better than a road. Well, you're like that hotel in California that the Nevada border runs right through the middle of. One of the greatest tourist attractions in the country. People come from all around to indulge in such bi-state sports as taking a bath in California, then drying themselves in Nevada.
I could see where that would attract a big crowd.
You'll attract them here, Kate. You're going to make $1 million. The commercial possibilities is unlimited. Well, we can take pictures of folks standing with one foot in Hooterville and one in Pixley. Then we can take trick shots of a fella standing in Pixley, shaking hands with himself in Hooterville.
Uncle Joe, it's just an imaginary line. Goodness. What's the matter? What's all this? That's just an imaginary line.
Look at a fella paint a straight line with all this screaming going on.
Uncle Joe.
How do you like it, Kate?
What have you done?
I divided you up into untold posterity.
Get that off the rug.
But,
Off.
well, if you didn't want it, you should have spoke up a half hour ago before it soaked in.
If I had known what you were going to do half an hour ago, you'd have been out of here an hour ago.
Would somebody please tell us what's going on?
Well, that's simple. I'm just painting an imaginary county line through the middle of the hotel. Should have been done years ago due to a mistake in a survey.
A county line?
Yes. Hooterville, Pixley.
Hooterville. Pixley?
Right.
Oh.
Okay, you're going to have to order some new stationery to match the new sign.
Twin County Hotel?
Yeah, I was going to call it the Hooter Pix Hotel, but the Hooter would have been on the Pix side and the Pix would have been on the Hooter side.
Bye.
See, you girls be careful going upstairs. That paint's still wet on the line I painted down the hallway.
You mean Hooterville, Pixley in the upper hallway?
Yeah.
You know something, Uncle Joe? It just isn't fair for you to be doing all this work by yourself. Let me help you.
Well, that's real nice of you, Kate.
Yeah. Now, let's decide where I'm going to kick you. Hooterville or Pixley? This is a miracle. We've never done such business.
I told you, Kate. I got a couple other ideas.
No, please. Let's leave well enough alone, shall we?
Excuse me.
Good evening, sir. You want to register in Hooterville or Pixley?
We've got only a double room in Hooterville, but you can sleep in Pixley tonight and we'll move you over in the morning.
Oh, I'm not looking for a room.
Oh, just want supper, huh? Well, we're pushing beef stew tonight on both sides of the line.
I've already had supper.
Oh, would you like to have your picture taken straddling 2 counties? Got a special deal on, half in color on one side of the line and black and white on the other half. Or you can straddle in full color for only 10 cents extra.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to have my picture taken either.
Well, look, mister, right now we're catering to the cash customers. You non-buying curiosity seekers will be welcome later on.
Joe. Oh, I'm sorry. What can I do for you, Mr.
Travis.
Mr. Travis?
Yes, I'm with the Pixley County Licensing Division.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I might see your hotel license.
Huh? There it is, paid and up to date.
Yes, that's for Hooterville County. May I see your Pixley County license?
I don't have one.
Oh, you haven't?
What would I need one for?
Well, some of your rooms are on the Pixley side of the hotel, are they not?
Yes, 6 of them, but...
Public lodging law number 12. Any establishment which offers its rooms for public occupancy must be duly licensed. I'll give you an application to fill out.
Yours the same as Hooterville, $10?
That's right.
Well, if I gotta get one, I gotta get one.
Of course, that's for hotels that have been in business for at least 2 or more years.
Well, the Shady Rest has been operating for over 50 years. 7, 8, 9...
In Hooterville?
That's right.
Oh, then I'm afraid I'm going to have you fill out a 622. Now, that's a license we issue to all new hotels.
But this isn't new.
It wasn't here 2 days ago.
Oh, yes, it was. It was over there. But now it's part there and part here.
I'm sorry, it's County Ordinance number 918. Of course...
Please, never mind 918. How much is 622?
That's $125.
What?
By the way, which side of the hotel do you live on?
Hooterville.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've made an error.
Huh, I thought so.
Yes, the license for out-of-county residents is $165. That's an 821.
What would happen if I moved over to the Pixley side of the hotel?
Oh, well, now, in that case, your license would only be $125.
It's a little better.
Of course, you know that all new residents to the county are subject to a $100 school board tax assessment.
Then I'd be better off staying in Hooterville and buying an out-of-county license.
Oh, infinitely, yes. Of course, now that...
Oh, please, no more of courses. Mr. Travis, I can't pay you the in-county license or the out-county license.
Well, in that case, yes. In that case, you're liable to a $2,000 fine or 1 year in jail. Now, whichever you choose. You'll find us very easy to do business with. Well, there's no hurry. We'll give you all the time you need to raise the money. See you in 2 or 3 days.
Finally get rid of the cheapskate?
Uh-huh. Uncle Joe, if you were given your choice as to whether you would pay a $2,000 fine or spend a year in jail, which would you take?
Spend a year in jail.
We'll keep a light burning in the window for you. And so what I would like to know is, would it be better to pay the $165 for the Pixley Hotel license as a resident of Hooterville, or move over to the Pixley side of the hotel, pay $125 plus a new resident $100 school assessment?
Would you mind repeating the question?
Would it be better if I paid $100?
No, Kate, of course, you'd be better off in plain dollars and cents staying in Hooterville and paying the Pixley out-of-county license fee.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and of course, living in Hooterville and operating a business in Pixley makes you liable for a Hooterville County out-of-county tax.
How much is that?
Well, if I remember correctly, that comes to half the licensing fee of the out-of-county county, plus an additional fee for transferring title of the Hooterville part of the hotel that now resides in Pixley.
Out-of-county county. How much does that come to?
$235.
That's $10 more than I'd have to pay if I moved to Pixley.
And, of course, moving out of Hooterville County means you're going to lose a prestige address. Not only that, you're going to have to get all your mail at the Pixley post office, which puts you in a higher parcel post zone.
Well, then I'd be better off to pay the $10 and hang on to Hooterville.
No doubt about it at all, Kate.
But Sam, this is ridiculous. I can't afford all these fees.
Well, Kate, you got to look at it from a business standpoint. After all, it's an investment. You wouldn't have been earning that money if you hadn't been subdivided.
Look, I wouldn't mind if I was sure that was all I was going to have to put out.
Kate, I'm positive your problems are over.
Mrs. Bradley?
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I'm with the Pixley County Health Department.
Health Department?
Nothing wrong, Mrs. Bradley. I inspected the Pixley side of the hotel and found everything in apple pie order.
Oh, thank goodness.
Of course,
Of course, all 6 rooms on the Pixley side are not fit for human occupancy.
Well, my room's on the Pixley side, and I'm human.
Not according to the Pixley Health Department.
Well, I don't understand that at all.
All right. How many bathrooms do we have?
1.
Where is it?
On the Hooterville side.
Well, according to the Pixley Health Code, you got to have 1 bathroom for every 6 rooms. And since the bathroom is in Hooterville, Pixley doesn't have any.
You gonna build another bathroom?
You know what that costs?
I got an idea. Why don't we put the bathtub on wheels, and every Saturday night we'll roll it back and forth.
Occupied or unoccupied?
Unoccupied, of course.
Oh, well, good. Otherwise, we might have to pay an inter-county amusement tax. And another thing. We got to close up the Pixley side of the dining room table.
But why?
Because the kitchen is in Hooterville. And according to the Pixley Health Department, you cannot prepare food in one county and consume it in another.
What next?
Fella left this paper for you, Kate.
A summons to appear in the Pixley Municipal Court.
Mom, what did you do?
I didn't do anything he did. He was running around Pixley with a Hooterville license.
There ain't nothing to worry about. They'll let him off light. He can plead insanity.
That's what I was figuring on pleading. The Pixley Building Department.
That's right, Mrs. Bradley. I've been looking around the hotel.
Get to the, of course.
Beg pardon?
Of course, I'll have to do what?
Oh, well, of course.
Aha!
The construction on what is now the Pixley side of the hotel is not up to the standards of the Pixley Building Code.
Well, it's up to the Hooterville standards.
Hooterville? Backward little county.
See here, I was born and raised in Hooterville, and I happen to be a Hooterville resident.
Doesn't make any difference as long as you make the proper alterations to conform with the Pixley Code.
Like what?
Well, shall we start with the walls?
Huh, might as well.
Very well. The studs are 18 inches apart. Our code calls for a minimum distance of 12 inches. Now, the floors are very solid.
Could I ask a question, Mr. Dixon?
Yes, ma'am.
What would happen if I would wall off the Pixley side of the hotel?
No problem, as long as the studs are 12 inches apart.
No, I mean wall it off and never use it.
Oh, you mean abandon it?
Uh-huh.
I don't see why you can't.
Of course.
You're familiar with Pixley County Land Improvement Ordinance number 38?
Oh, that's one I haven't run into.
It provides that anyone who wishes to abandon a dwelling must post a bond equal to the cost of restoring the site upon which the dwelling reposed to its former natural beauty.
I'd like to ask another question.
Yes, ma'am.
What would happen if I would pick up that pail of water and just let you have it?
You wouldn't want to do a thing like that, Mrs. Bradley. Public Ordinance number 38 specifically prohibits anyone from assaulting a county officer in the performance of his duty.
You mean in Pixley?
That's right.
Pixley Ordinance 38?
Yeah?
See you around Hooterville.
Hey, I just added up yesterday's receipts. We took in 85 cents from the two-county picture-taking concession, $3.75 for 2 Hooterville dinners, and a dime on a Pixley postcard. That makes a grand total of $4.75, of which $2.90 is clear profit.
$2.90. Uncle Joe, do you know what the estimate is for rebuilding the Pixley side conforming to the building code? $1,222.
Floyd and Charlie could do it for less than $100.
They could, but they happen to live in Hooterville. And there's a $1,500 fine for using non-Pixley labor on a Pixley job.
Well, $1,000-some-odd ain't so bad for all that work.
It might not be, except that the estimate for redoing the Hooterville side is $2,500-some-odd.
Why do we have to redo that?
Because the Hooterville building code provides that any dwelling rebuilt according to Pixley standards has got to be better on the Hooterville side.
Well, once we get it all rebuilt, then your problems are over.
My problems were supposed to be over when I took out a Pixley hotel license.
What else could happen?
Mom!
I don't know, but I think it has.
Mom!
Who hit you?
Nobody.
What are you crying for?
I'm gonna be thrown out of school.
Who did you hit?
Nobody. I'm gonna be thrown out of Hooterville High because I live in Pixley.
No, you don't.
My room's in Pixley. My whole life is ruined just because I live on the wrong side of a line.
No. My problems are over, huh?
That ain't no problem.
Well, it isn't if you're going to be taken away from your lifelong friends.
You can still go to Hooterville High. All we gotta do is move you over to the other side of the hotel.
Bill Billy Joe, now that you're out of high school, you move over to the Pixley side and let Betty Joe have your room.
Mom, I can't.
Why not?
Don't you remember? I'm the Hooterville representative in the state shorthand contest. If I move to Pixley, I'll be eliminated.
Bobby Joe,
Why, Mom, if I move into Pixley, then I'll have to transfer from Hooterville High School, and you don't want to go to school with me. I don't want to go to Pixley, and I don't want to be eliminated.
You girls ought to be ashamed of yourself, worrying over little things like what school you're going to attend when your mother's on the road to millions. Hey, the fella just came in and ordered a 50-cent half-color picture of himself standing...
Uncle Joe, how would you like to take a full-color picture of me, half in Pixley, half in Hooterville, and half out of my mind? You know, a week ago I woke up and the sun was shining and the birds were singing and the hotel was quiet and empty. And then Mr. Craig walked in and said 2 words, Hooterville, Pixley, and that's when the dam broke.
Maybe you ought to switch to cream soda.
$1,000 to rebuild the Pixley side of the hotel. $2,500 to rebuild the Hooterville side of the hotel. I gotta buy 2 hotel licenses. I gotta put in another bathroom. The dog is a wanted man in Pixley, and they're gonna throw Betty Joe out of Hooterville High School. Tell you, Sam, that's as far as they're gonna push me. I'm gonna put my foot down.
Good for you, Kate. You gotta draw the line somewhere. Ooh, sorry.
Sam, isn't there anybody, anyone, anything, any can help me?
Kate, if it was just Hooterville County, I might be able to do something. I have a little influence here, but I don't have any pull at all in Pixley.
And that's what I need, a little pull. No! What I need is a lot of pull.
Ain't there any other kind of pull you can think of?
This is it.
Don't know if we can do it.
The Wright brothers never knew if they was related until they invented the airplane.
Is that a fact?
Read your history book.
Go get up steam. We'll sure give her a good try, Kate.
Thanks, Charlie. Signal when you're ready, huh?
Okay.
Get ready.
Get ready! Get ready! 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 Ready!
Ready?
Here we go!
Easy. Easy.
Them cucumbers is murder.
Easy, Charlie, easy.
Kate's pie crust's getting better.
Come back. Come back.
We must be going 60. Hardly feels like we're pulling a hotel. We ain't!
But Kate,
And when you're through scrubbing the lobby, you can go in the dining room, scrub the line off the dining room table, and then go upstairs and scrub that one, too.
Kate, what if you changed your mind someday and wanted to move the hotel back to Pixley?
This hotel is staying right where it is, and nothing short of an earthquake's gonna move it. Oh, quick! Everybody around to the Pixley side and push!
Women, strictly one-county thinkers.
Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Excuse me.
What are you doing?
Mom told us to clear the table.
Oh, I'm trying to finish a financial news. And my pie. Give me that.
What's new on Wall Street, Uncle Joe?
Well, there's who took my coffee?
I did.
Well, for crying out loud.
You just said you wanted to finish your pie.
And my coffee.
How about the rest of the dishes?
We're trying to get them away from Uncle Joe.
Oh,
Can't a fella relax, eat a hunk of pie, drink his coffee, and catch up on Wall Street?
the Wall Street Advisor. Where'd you get that?
That shoe salesman left at the checkout. Kate, there's a stock in here that's a gold mine for money making.
Gold mine.
Whoops.
May I remind you, Uncle Joe, that I still have 30 shares of Aztec gold mine stock you touted me on.
There's nothing wrong with that stock. Mine was full of gold.
There just weren't any Aztecs to get it out.
Kate, you should have made a killing on that stock.
I should have, but I couldn't find you. Dishes? Don't forget the tablecloth. There's no hot water.
Good, now we can do the dishes tomorrow.
Come back here.
What's wrong with the hot water?
Nothing. Billy Joe's probably taking a bath.
Please.
It's only me, your mother. Do you mind telling me why you're using all the hot water for a bath when we need it for the dishes?
I've got a date.
Oh. Well, don't use any more, and don't get any on the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the matter? Would you mind getting him out?
Out. Out. Haven't you started the dishes yet?
No, there's still no hot water, Mom. Betty Jo went up to tell you. No, Mom is not here. Have you turned off the hot water yet?
May I please take my bath in privacy?
I beg your pardon, Cleopatra.
Betty Jo!
What?
You mind taking him out?
He's just waiting for the bathtub. It's his turn next.
Out!
Out. Betty Jo, Mom's been looking for you. Well, I've been looking for her. Well, there's still no hot water. I can't understand that.
Would you mind leaving?
Oh, are you still here?
Beat it! And close the
door.
Uncle Joe, did you find out why the water heater doesn't work?
Yeah, it sprung a leak.
I'm coming up.
Coming up. Sounds more like he's surfacing.
Don't nobody go down there that water wing.
Oh, it isn't that deep.
It was deeper. It's seeping out through a crack in the foundation. Meanwhile, I sandbagged the generator. Give me a hand of these boots, will you, Betty?
Couldn't you fix the heater?
Not without one of them underwater breathing apparatuses.
Hey, it's got hot water in it. Maybe we can use it to wash the dishes.
Heater's a total loss. We're going to have to get a new one.
I don't have the money to buy one.
That's no problem. We'll issue stock.
Stock?
Shady Rest Hotel Corporation.
Not all of that water seeped into your boots. Some of it got to your brain.
Hey, where's that shoe salesman's paper?
The what?
Wall Street Advisor.
Oh, here.
Kate, look at this. Trans International Hotel Chain issues $32 million in stock for modernization program.
32 million?
Sounds like a nice program. What time is it on?
Kate, when a big company wants money, the president don't just reach into his Christmas club savings. He calls up a printer and has him print stock and sell it. Then he takes the money and uses it. When the stockholders wonder what happened to their money, he issues an annual statement.
Oh, that's the way it works.
Yeah. So you'll get Sam to print some Shady Rest Hotel Corporation stock and sell it.
Is that legal?
Of course it's legal. He's a notary republic, ain't he?
You know, Uncle Joe, there must be a more complicated way to get the money to buy that water heater.
This is the only one I know of.
Say, didn't Mr. Drucker give you some kind of guarantee when you bought the heater?
Of course. Here it is.
They don't guarantee them heaters for more than 90 days or 3 months, whichever comes first.
This happens to be a lifetime guarantee.
Lifetime guarantee, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's what you gave me when I bought the heater from you.
When was that?
It says right there, 1945.
Oh, yeah. Well, the company went out of business in 1946.
It didn't have much of a lifetime, did it?
Well, there's nothing to worry about, Kate. Now, I sold you the heater. I'll make good on it.
Oh, no, I couldn't let you do that, Sam.
Well, I'd like to be able to do something for you. Suppose I sold you a heater at cost.
Well...
The salesman left me a catalog on a new line of hot water heaters that are supposed to be pretty good. Well, here we are. The Orbit Super hot water heater lined with Umbrellium.
How much is it?
That's the new Wonder Metal tested under actual launching conditions in the Atlas Missile Motel at Cape Kennedy.
How much is it?
The Orbit features an automatic jet afterburner, an automatic space pilot light, and it's decorated in the official colors of the National Aeronautical Space Agency.
Well, if it doesn't make hot water, we can always launch it. How much is it?
I suppose you'd want the stripped-down model without the Polaris drip pan.
Yeah, I suppose. How much is it?
Are you going to keep it in the cellar?
Mm-hmm. How much is it?
Then I guess you wouldn't want the decorative nose cone.
No. How much is it without all the doodads?
Well, it retails for $102.50, but I could let you have it for the wholesale price of $97.50.
$97.50? Forget it, Sam.
Well, how are you going to run the hotel without a hot water heater?
Same way I ran it before I got a hot water heater. Tell Mr. Osgood he can start rinsing.
Tell Mr. Osgood he can rinse now. Tell Mr. Osgood he can start rinsing.
Mr. Osgood can start rinsing.
Here's your rinse water, Mr. Osgood. Bring a jar of soothing salve. What was the last thing I said? Don't put that down. That's just to clear my mind.
Sorry. Uncle Joe, I've got to do my homework.
Then do it.
Kate, this is important.
Not as important as her homework. Did Mr. Osgood check out?
Without paying.
That's what I figured.
Sore head.
That's not the only place he was sore. Well, I'll be back at 5:30.
Where are you going?
Where do I usually go when I wear this?
Bixley Bank?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, that's Mom's. Everything's fine at the hotel, but I need a little money to tide me over, Hat.
Kate, you don't need to borrow money from Gurney.
Somebody giving away hot water heaters for nothing?
Read the prospectus.
Prospectus?
Yeah, it's to whet people's financial appetite for the Shady Rest Hotel Corporation stock.
Uncle Joe, we are not selling
Listen
stock
to
in
the
this.
prospectus.
But there is no point in my
Read
listening.
what I dictated.
Just the way you said it?
Yeah. No, skip that and get to the meat of it.
Your attention is called to a fiduciary investment that has just opened its doors to a hand-picked group of small investors.
Uncle Joe, the train will be here any minute.
The dog will let you know when the train's coming.
If you don't put him to sleep first.
Go on, Billy.
Nestled among the whispering pines overlooking the feudal Hooterville Valley.
Feudal?
I think Uncle Joe meant fertile.
That's what I said.
What you said was,
Was that the train?
stands the age-old Shady Rest Hotel, waiting to be invested in. The fiscal status of the erstwhile said hotel can be examined at your leisure, on the hook hanging behind the modern registration desk.
You know, this is going to be the first time I've ever gotten sick before I got on the train. Bye.
Bye.
Isn't that a new hat, Mrs. Bradley?
Oh, no. Don't you remember? I wore it for my second mortgage. Now, about the loan for the heater?
Mrs. Bradley, you know, in addition to that second mortgage, we also hold the first mortgage on your hotel, plus 2 short-term loans and 1 long-term loan.
Oh, I thought I had 4 short-term loans.
No, the last time you were in, we converted 2 of those short-term loans into 1 long-term loan.
Why couldn't we convert 2 of the short-term loans into a home improvement loan?
I'm afraid not. I have a responsibility to my depositors. But, of course, if you had some collateral...
I got the hotel.
We have the hotel.
I got 30 shares of Aztec gold mining.
30 shares? Oh, Mrs. Bradley, about all that's good for is lining kitchen shelves.
It's not bad for lining stock and drawers either. Well...
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, Mrs. Bradley.
Yes, Mr. Gurney?
Take a calendar.
Thank you. I'll think of you every day.
Stock in the Shady Rest?
Yeah.
Does Kate know you're doing this?
Well, there's no point in discussing this with Kate. It's way over her head financially.
Joe, if Kate needs money for a new hot water heater, we'll lend it to her.
She wouldn't take it.
Why not? If someone tried to lend me money, I'd take it.
You don't come from the long line of proud flesh she does.
If we bought stock, she would.
Of course, that's business.
Okay, we'll take 1 hot water heater's worth of stock.
How much is the heater?
$97.50.
Let's see, that's $33 a share, including my broker's fees.
Why should you get a fee?
Did you ever hear of the Securities Exchange Commission?
Yeah?
Well, we're exchanging securities, and I'm entitled to a commission. You can make out your checks or cash, as the case may be. I'll issue the certificates.
1 share Shady Rest Hotel Corporation. I guess this makes me a sharecropper.
Shareholder.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, what's this Aztec mining company you crossed out?
Where's the money?
The shareholders are going to buy Kate the heater and ship it to her direct.
Don't you trust me?
No. Shareholders have spoken. Meeting adjourned.
Mom, the new hot water heater's here.
What new hot water heater?
Well, Charlie and Floyd and Mr. Drucker are unloading it from the train.
What?
Go see for yourself.
That sure is heavy.
Yeah. How would you know, Joe? You ain't touched a finger to it.
I'm carrying instructions.
What is that doing here?
It's yours, Kate.
Sam, I told you I couldn't afford it.
Well, maybe you couldn't, but the corporation can.
Oh, well, and that corporation?
Come on, fellas, let's get the heater up the hill.
Uncle Joe.
Kate, I only sold 3 shares to Sam, Charlie, and Floyd.
We got certificates.
The Shady Rest. Well, these are. Uncle Joe, have you been in my stocking drawer?
I didn't touch the stockings.
Fellas, I know what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it, but I can't let you do it.
Now, Kate, as stockholders, we insist that the hotel have all the modern conveniences to protect our investment. Ain't that true, fellow stockholders?
That's right, yep.
Take it back, take it back.
Kate, the stockholders have spoke.
Well, that's the way you want it. It's all right with me.
See, I told you this is the only way you can do business with Kate. Can't a fella take a snooze without you kids hollering?
The sink is leaking. Mom!
I'm out here.
Mom, the bathroom sink is leaking.
Oh, it's a shame.
What should we do?
I don't know.
Hey!
Oh.
Watch it, the sink's leaking. Kate,
I heard.
I think the new hot water heater melted the pipes.
Do you know how much fan mail Rock Hudson gets every week?
What are we going to do about it?
I don't know. But he gets more fan mail than...
Kate, the upstairs hallway's floating downstairs.
It's not my problem. I don't own the hotel.
What?
You sold 3 shares of stock. That's all there is. So Sam, Floyd, and Charlie own control and interest. Take it up with them.
But
the former owner has spoke.
Why do we have to fix it?
You're shareholders. You got to share the good with the bad.
Well, I own stock in one of them automobile companies. When something goes wrong with a car, I don't have to leave my store and go all the way to Detroit to fix it. Give me a wrench.
Wrench. Hey, Charlie, shouldn't we ought to be wearing rubber gloves?
What for?
Well, that's what they always do on TV when they say wrench.
Yeah, I think it's fixed.
Let's see.
Working fine, Sam. Oh, you know.
I don't own the hotel anymore.
You don't?
No. These gentlemen do. Sam, Mr. Parker's bed isn't made. You know you ought to take better care of your guests.
Kate.
And when you make up my room, would you mind carpet sweeping real good? It's kind of dusty.
Look.
And, by the way, what are you serving for lunch?
I gotta get back to my store.
We gotta get back to the train. Hey, watch it.
I gotta tuck in the blanket.
Well, can't you tuck it without untucking me?
No, it ain't big enough for the both of us.
Joe!
Yeah?
Aren't there any bigger blankets?
I guess so.
Fellers, if we own this hotel, how come we're working and Joe ain't?
Yeah, how come?
Yeah, how come?
How come, Joe?
Because I ain't a stockholder.
You ain't a guest either.
Just what do you do around here?
That's none of your business.
It is, so we own this hotel.
Well, you don't really own it.
Oh, you mean that stock you sold us is phony?
Well,
Selling phony stock is a big jail offense.
it ain't really phony.
Then we own the hotel. Now, just what do you do around here?
That ain't enough.
Us stockholders ain't gonna put up with no deadheads. If you want your room and board, you're gonna have to work for it.
It ain't bad owning a hotel.
I'm glad you like it.
How about some coffee, Kate?
I'd love some.
Boy!
Yeah?
He ain't no boy.
Kate.
Mrs. Bradley.
Yeah, address the guest by their proper name.
Now look here, Charlie.
Mr. Pratt.
Get us some coffee, Joe.
And don't spill it on our rug.
It's tough getting good help these days.
I imagine.
Anyone want some more milk?
Sit down, Betty Joe. Waiter!
Yeah?
Miss Betty Joe Bradley wants a glass of milk.
Miss Betty Joe Bradley can just get her own milk.
Are you leaving?
You're darn tootin' I am.
Make your bed before you go.
Kate.
It's your idea to sell the stock, Uncle Joe.
Who's that?
Anybody home?
Oh, Mr. Gurney, come on in.
Well,
Hi.
good evening, everybody.
Would you like some coffee?
Boy.
I don't work here anymore.
I'll get some coffee for you, Mr. Gurney.
Oh, no, thank you. I just dropped by to bring your mother some good news. You know that Aztec gold mining stock? Well, I've checked it out. It's come to life again.
Oh, you mean they discovered gold?
No, uranium.
Hey, I told you that was a good investment.
Yes, and if you want to sell it, you can make a tidy little profit.
I already sold it.
No, you haven't. That was Shady Rest Hotel Corporation stock. You can rub that out in favor of Aztec mining.
Yes, we could if we had the stock, but you sold it to Floyd, Sam, and Charlie.
Well, they'll give it back, won't you?
Sure we will.
I still owe you for the hot water heater, Sam.
You can pay them back with what you get from your Aztec uranium.
No. I like not owning a hotel. No worries. And it gives me a chance to catch up on Rock Hudson.
Kate, you got to. You got to, Kate. I wore her to a frizzle.
Well, Uncle Joe, I'm sorry if you're tired, but this whole thing was your idea.
Here you are, Kate.
Now, here's mine. Where's yours, Floyd?
Home, lining my stocking drawer.
I can get it later. Well, Mrs. Bradley, this has turned out to be quite a profitable evening for you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Mr. Gurney.
Well, Mom, how does it feel to own the hotel again?
Not so bad. Especially now that the sink doesn't leak and we have a brand new hot water heater.
Well, now what's wrong with the lights?
The generator needs a new amateur.
How much does that cost?
Around $40.
Gentlemen, how would you like to buy some shares in a little hotel nestled among the whispering pines overlooking the futile Hooterville Band?
Good night, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Night.
$40, huh?
Oh, them lights ain't no problem. We can get a big sign made spelling Shady Rest Hotel in bulbs. We'll plug it in so it'll go off and on with the generator. That's what all the big hotels do, especially in the...
Boy. Kerosene lamps for everybody.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Get out and stay out, and I don't ever see you around here again.
But, Mr. Drucker...
And that goes for your father, too. You Crabwell Corners people stay in Crabwell Corners, if you can stand it. And get this hound out of here, too. Out! Out!
Speedy. Hang out by your butt.
Why don't you give him a transfusion, Tad?
Come on, Speedy. Do you want me to leave you here in Hooterville? He may be lazy, but he's not dumb.
None of them Crabwell Corners kids has respect for their adults.
Morning, Sam.
Of all the doggone no-good ornery...
Did my sewing machine come back?
I should have thrown that Tad Winslow out of here before he came in.
What'd you do?
Of all the sneaky, low-down, underhanded...
What'd you do?
Old man Winslow, he ain't man enough to come over here by himself, so he sends his kid over and that stupid dog.
What'd you do?
Well, I'll tell you what he did. He had the nerve to come in here in broad daylight with a smile on his face. That's when I should have known he was up to no good, when he smiled, because he never smiles unless he's up to no good. I don't like that kid, and I don't like his dad, and I don't like the town he lives in.
Did my sewing machine come back?
Ain't you interested in what he did?
What'd you do?
All the low-down, backstabbing...
Sam, either tell me what he did or give me my sewing machine.
Well, your sewing machine's out in the back room, and this is what he did.
It's a summons. Crabwell Corners versus Town of Hooterville.
Now, Crabwell Corners is suing us for our Spanish-American war cannon.
How come they gave you the summons? You ain't authorized to versus Crabwell Corners.
Well, who else would they give it to? I'm the highest-ranking official in Hooterville.
The Justice of the Peace.
You can't get much higher in Hooterville. That'll be 10 cents, Joe.
I thought we settled who owned the cannon years ago.
We did, but they've been trying to unsettle it. They couldn't get it legal, so they're going to take it to court.
Well, they haven't got a leg to stand on. That cannon was captured fair and square by a company of Hooterville volunteers charging up San Juan Hill.
Well, I think it's a good idea then to go to court and settle it once and for all.
You're darn right it is. Justice ain't blind. Right makes right. Possession is 9 points in the law. There ain't a court in the land that would think twice about giving the nod to Crabwell Corners over us. Where do we have to appear?
Crabwell Corners Municipal Court. He sure did a good job of overhauling this machine. It's just like new.
Mom, that'll never be a new machine. That can't do half the things the new models can do. Mom, when are you going to make me a new dress for school?
I just made you one.
Well, that was for Bobby Joe.
Well, you'll get to wear it soon enough.
Mom, just once, can't I be the first one to wear a dress?
You were the first one to wear your Sunday dress.
Yeah, but weekdays, I'm just a hand-me-down. Next time I get born into a family, I'm going to be born first.
Well, honey, I was planning on making you one.
Boy, that's beautiful. Wait till the kids in school see me in it.
Well, I'm afraid they never will. That's for Billy Joe's party dress.
Party?
Mm-hmm. Henry Brewster's taking her to the Pioneer Dance.
Henry Brewster. Yuck. Why does she go out with him?
Maybe she likes him. Hello. Oh, Billy Joe, I got the material for your party dress. How do you like it?
It's horrible. Boy, wait till the kids in school see me in that.
This is the most expensive material that Sam has in his store.
It's horrible. I agree. Mom, do you think there's enough there to make me a coat?
Not so fast. Now, what's wrong with this?
It's horrible, and Henry Brewster's horrible. In fact, the whole world is horrible.
Guess who had a fight with you-know-who?
You stay out of this hand-me-down.
Is this one of those never call me again in your whole life fights, or is it serious?
It's serious. I never want to see him again. We're through. You wouldn't believe what he said to me.
Oh, yes, we would.
Joe. Now, wait a minute. No fighting between the two of you about the fight that Billy Joe had with Henry. Just tell me one thing. Are you going to the dance with him?
Absolutely not. We are through, finished, washed up. I gave him back his fraternity pin, his signet ring, and that locket he gave me for my birthday.
He'll be back.
And what makes you so sure?
You've still got his record player. All Breeds Obedience Trials. Sponsored by County Kennel Club. Prizes, trophies, entrance fee $1.
Would you like to enter the contest? You got $1?
If he had $1, he'd be worth $1.25 altogether.
If you ignore it, it'll go away.
That mutt couldn't even get in the contest.
Why not? It says all breeds, and he's certainly all breeds.
That means pure breeds.
All of his breeds are pure.
Just be thankful he can't compete, because my dog is going to run away with all the prizes.
Run away? He can't even stand up.
My dog.
Didn't Mr. Drucker tell you to stay out of Hooterville?
I'm waiting for the train.
Well, then why don't you go stand on the track so you don't miss it?
Is your sister home?
Which sister?
The beautiful one.
You'll have to be more specific than that.
Billy Joe. I hear she had a fight with Horrible Henry, and she hasn't got a date for the Pioneer Dance. So I thought I'd give her a break and ask her.
Why don't you give everybody a break and stand on the tracks? Come on, let's go to the other end of the platform, where the air is better.
Come on. Move.
Look at the dog that's going to win the obedience contest. Have you ever seen anything so ridiculous?
Look, that dog
is about the least likely to win a contest I've ever seen. Show him how you obey. Sit up. Down.
Did you teach him that, or is he just naturally clumsy?
At least he's alive.
Maybe I could talk to the judges about letting your dog in the contest, just for laughs.
He'd have the last laugh when he walked off with first prize.
Are you serious?
Get him in the contest and see.
How about a private contest? Your dog against mine.
Anytime.
How about Saturday morning?
Won't you be too busy scurrying around trying to find somebody to go to the dance with you?
That's all settled. I'm going to take your sister.
You haven't even asked her. Not that it would do you any good.
I thought a date with her would make a dandy prize.
Prize?
There's no sense in having our dogs compete unless there's something at stake.
Now, wait a second.
I knew you'd chicken out.
I'm not chickening out.
See you Saturday. Come on, Speedy.
Out.
See you Saturday.
Do you think it'll be done in time for the dance Saturday night?
Not if I hadn't started sewing the minute you said you never wanted to see Henry again as long as you lived.
Well, I didn't at the time. But then I changed my mind.
You always do.
Well, I got to thinking about what Henry said to me, and it wasn't so bad. He said worse things to me.
Hold still.
Mom, don't you think it's a little high?
Well, you don't want it dragging on the ground.
Well, I'm talking about this end.
Well, I could lower it a little.
Thanks.
Jacket'll cover it.
What jacket?
This one. I'm sewing you into it before you leave.
Oh, Mom, do you want to...
I certainly do.
When you were my age, didn't your mother let you wear low-cut dresses?
My mother did, but my husband wouldn't.
Billy Joe?
I'm in Mom's room.
Billy Joe, I've got something funny to tell you. I was waiting for the train in Hooterville and... What's that?
I dressed that I'm going to wear to the dance Saturday night. Henry and I made up.
You can't do that.
She always does.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, well, You see, Oh, well, you'll probably have another fight with him before the dance, won't you?
No.
You should. Because there are a lot of nice fellows who'd be glad to take you.
Oh, like who?
Tad Winslow.
Who?
Tad Winslow.
Mom, you better take her temperature. I think she's got a fever.
Or it does feel hot.
Good. Maybe I'll get sick. In fact, I am sick.
Lady Joe, are you trying to tell us something?
Kind of.
What happened in Hooterville?
Well...
What happened?
Oh, well, there's nothing to worry about. His dog doesn't stand a chance of winning.
Maybe I've got a fever because I keep hearing a voice, but I don't understand what it's saying.
What it's saying is this. Tad Winslow insulted your dog.
My dog?
Our dog. The family dog. This poor little animal that's all breeds, but none that the County Kennel Club will recognize.
Betty Joe, forget about the poor dog and tell us what you're trying not to tell us, huh?
Well, I'd better hold this. You see, I didn't know you'd made up with Henry, so when Tad Winslow challenged our dog to an obedience contest with a date with you as first prize, I accepted.
What?
Well, I didn't think you'd mind, and I knew you wouldn't want Tad Winslow to think his old bloodhound could beat your dog.
I don't care what Tad Winslow thinks, and that's not my dog.
Well, if that's the way you feel, you can just tell Tad Winslow yourself that the whole thing's off.
Just a minute, Betty Joe. Let me get this thing straight. You made a bet with Tad Winslow, his bloodhound, against him.
Right.
And if his bloodhound wins, Billy Joe's supposed to go to the dance with Tad?
Right.
Not that it matters, but what happens if he wins?
Then you don't have to go to the dance with him.
Mom, would you tell your daughter that no matter what she bet with Tad Winslow, there is no bet?
That's right. Dishonor the name of Bradley.
Well, you had no right to bet me. Why didn't you bet yourself?
Oh, I wouldn't go out with Tad Winslow.
Mom!
Tad tricking this poor innocent girl. Betty Joe, tell you what to do. You go over to Crabwell Corners and you tell Tad that the bet is off.
Me? But I'm just a poor innocent girl.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not a girl. I mean, I'll do it. Is there anybody can give me a ride over to Crabwell Corners?
I'm afraid not.
Well, I gotta get over there right away and settle something with Tad Winslow.
Well, I'll be glad to lend you that old bicycle I got out back.
Hello, Martha. Is Tad home?
Something wrong?
Nothing I can't straighten out.
Well, he'll be home later. Why don't you come in and wait for him?
Well,
Oh, come on.
Well, Martha, if you're not busy.
Oh, no, I was just doing a little sewing.
I've got the same model.
How does yours work?
Like a charm since I had it overhauled.
Well, I wish I could afford to have something done to this. Well, sit down.
Martha, I really don't...
sit down.
Oh, Martha.
You know, I haven't seen you for months. How's everything at the hotel?
Not too bad.
And how are the girls?
Well, they're fine, except Betty Jo.
Something wrong with her?
There won't be after I talk to Tad.
You didn't come over here to talk to him about that bet, did you?
I certainly did.
Forget it.
But I can't forget it, Martha.
Tad's always teasing. He's forgotten about it already.
He has?
Sure. You know how those kids are always up to something.
Oh, they sure are.
Although, I wish they'd had the contest. Because I'd like Tad to go out with a pretty girl like Billy Jo.
Well, even if they'd had the contest, Tad wouldn't have been taking Billy Jo to the dance.
Oh, yes, he would. You didn't understand. If Tad's dog had beat your little dog, then he would have had the date.
If he beat our dog.
You don't think he could?
I certainly don't.
Well, I'm afraid I can't agree with you.
Oh, you can't.
No, I can't.
Hi, Kate. You talk with Tad?
No, I talked with Martha.
What about the bet?
Well, I settled it with Martha. It's all off.
Good for you, Kate.
You imagine the nerve of that Tad Winslow trying to weasel a date out of one of our girls, even though that bloodless bloodhound of his doesn't stand a chance.
That's exactly what I said to Martha.
What'd she say?
She didn't agree.
You mean she thought Tad's dog could beat yours?
She certainly did.
Too bad she didn't want to bet.
She certainly did.
She did?
My brand new fixed up old sewing machine against her old broken down sewing machine.
Kate, isn't it bad enough having one Winslow trap Betty Jo into a bet without letting Martha do the same to you?
Well, she just got me good and mad.
Well, the Winslows have a talent for making people mad. Do you know how much the lawyering on this cannon suit is going to cost us? $65.
Kate, I ain't going to let you go through with this bet.
Because, Joe, our dog can't lose.
That's not the point. Martha Winslow trapped you into betting practically a brand new sewing machine against a hunk of junk. If they want to bet, let them make the odds even.
But Uncle Joe...
Joe's right.
You're darn tootin' I am. I'll take care of this.
Back already, Uncle Joe?
Didn't take long. I had a little heart-to-heart talk with old man Winslow. The sewing machine bet's off.
Good for you, Joe.
Can you imagine him trying to tell me that their dog could beat ours? Well, I ain't one to hold a man's stupidity against him. I told him they could come over and look at the fire engine anytime they want.
Well, that's... Fire engine?
He was fool enough to bet the Crabwell Corners fire engine.
What were you fool enough to bet?
For Spanish-American War cannon.
What?
Mr. Carson, glad I caught you. My father drew up this agreement for you to sign, just in case you decided to weasel out of the bet.
I ain't weaseling. Give it to me.
Uncle Joe, maybe you
Hey,
better...
someday this town will erect a statue to me for what I've done. There.
Thanks.
Joe!
Sam, our dog can beat theirs with his tail tied behind his back.
Oh, Mr. Drucker, almost forgot. Need some dog biscuits for my dog.
Who is that?
My dog. Close the door.
That ain't your dog. Your dog's a bloodhound.
Who said so?
You did.
No, I didn't.
You mean the bloodhound isn't yours?
No, I was just minding in for Mrs. Barrett while she was away visiting her sister. Well, come on, open the door.
Joe, about that statue. We'd better have it made soon, because after the contest, nobody around here is going to remember what you look like.
Here's the official list of obedience tests as laid down by the County Kennel Club. First is heeling. The master gives the command heel, then walks, and the dog walks obediently by his side. You start from a sitting position.
Me or him?
Him, I guess. Now let's try it.
Okay. Come on, boy. Heel.
Don't you understand common English? When she says heel, you're supposed to walk. W-A-L-K. Right.
Heel.
You're crying out loud. What are you trying to do? Get me run out of town? You ain't supposed to sit.
Well, if you're so good at sitting, why don't we try the next test?
All right.
Sit and stay.
Now pay attention. On the command sit, you sit. On the command stay, Betty will walk away, and you stay where you are until she says, come. You got it?
Sit. Stay.
I think somebody in Crabwell Corners got to him. Look, you untalented dust mop, I'm...
Stop hollering at him. He's doing the best he can.
Well, his best ain't good enough.
Uncle Joe, a dog is man's best friend, but you're not making it easy for him to be buddies with you.
If he knew he couldn't do this stuff, he shouldn't have bet the cannon.
You bet the cannon.
On his say-so.
Look, Betty Jo's going to work the dog, right? Why doesn't she train him?
Kate, my whole future in Hooterville depends on him.
Well, then she certainly should train him. Come on.
Heel.
Heel.
Good boy. The Hooterville dog.
Heel.
Hey, he did that pretty good.
Real good.
Yeah, due to my dog training know-how.
Crabwell Corners dog. The score is 96 points for the Hooterville dog. And 98 and a half points for Crabwell Corners dog.
Well, I'll tow the cannon back to Crabwell Corners with our fire engine.
Wait a second. There's one more event. If we win that, we win the contest.
You don't really expect your dog to jump that, do you?
Uncle Joe, no matter where you go, I want you to promise to keep in touch.
Okay.
Poor little dog. I wonder what he's thinking.
Holy smoke. Are they kidding? Those pure breeds are pretty high-strung. Maybe I can make him nervous. You, planning on jumping that?
Yeah, of course.
They got a good vet over at Crabwell Corners?
Are you trying to tell me something?
Too bad about old Rex.
Who is Rex?
He used to be a Great Dane before he tried jumping a barrier.
What do you mean, used to be?
I'd rather not say.
Ja, nicht verstehen.
Where's my dog?
Here, champ.
And now for the final event, in which each dog will jump the 6-foot barrier. Get your dogs ready.
Here, champ. Here, champ.
What's the matter?
My dog's disappeared.
He chickened out.
Well, according to County Kennel Club rules, if a dog fails to appear for an event, he's disqualified. I guess the Hooterville dog wins the contest by default.
Welcome home, Uncle Joe.
Doggone it, Joe. We won ourselves a fire engine.
It's all yours. Just be sure and keep up the monthly payments.
Monthly payments? Hey,
Well, you almost won yourself a fire engine.
We still got our cannon.
They almost didn't. He never could have jumped that barrier.
You little rat! You con me into losing!
Mom, did you see that?
Well, yes, I did, but I don't believe it. Somebody ought to tell him the police dog isn't chasing him anymore.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Here's your mop, Kate. Cut that out! You'd think that Air Force would know we've got a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit in Hooterville. Is there anything else you can think of you need for spring cleaning, Kate?
No, I don't think so, Sam. It's, where's the dog?
Here, boy.
Must have jumped in the pickle barrel. Good thing I forgot to order pickles.
Say, he has a nice dill smell about him. You're gonna need spring cleaning, too. Sam, would you mind putting these things in a bag for me? I gotta get back to the hotel.
Sure. Joe know you're starting spring cleaning?
Yeah, I broke the news to him this morning.
I guess he headed for the hills.
No, I persuaded him to stay around and help.
Let me out! Let me out!
I'm sorry. Mom gave me strict orders.
I just want to get out so I can get the spring cleaning started.
Well, why don't you start in your room?
I'd rather start downstairs. Let me out!
Sounds like Uncle Joe's going stir crazy.
Kate springs me.
Little beauty, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't look much like a camera.
No, sir.
Well, it may not look like one, but let me tell you something, son. This little baby is capable of photographing the name on a golf ball from 20 miles up.
Yes, sir.
You realize that the success of this test depends upon your maintaining a constant altitude and speed.
Roger.
One small detail has been added to this camera since your earlier briefing. In the interest of security, a detonating device which is timed to destroy the camera 12 hours after it's been disconnected or removed from the plane. So let's be a little careful with it, shall we? That'll be all.
Wilco.
Colonel, I think you better stop watching all those old movies on late TV. Carry on. Colonel.
Betty Joe, you get mopping and swabbing detail. Billy Joe, dusting and sweeping. And Uncle Joe, airing out the bedding and the blankets.
I've got to write a composition for English class.
Oh, I've got just the title for you. How I Tried to Get Out a Mopping and Swabbing Detail But Didn't by Betty Joe Bradley. Now, this hotel has got to be cleaned from cellar to attic. And nobody's doing anything else until it's done.
Your mom's right. You ought to be ashamed trying to get out. Ain't that just a lot? Just as I was getting ready to go to work, I come down on the case of lumbago.
Hit you just about the same time last year, didn't it? 0 hour.
Hey, you wouldn't believe how I was looking forward to pitching in. I can hardly bend.
Feel all right when you stand up straight?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then you can stand up straight and clean the windows.
Okay.
Boy, he's really traveling.
Gosh, we live in the jet age. You'd think they'd invent some easy way to do spring cleaning.
Yeah, like a little magic box that you set in the middle of a room and it dusts and sweeps and scrubs.
Yeah.
Shall we try a little old-fashioned elbow grease while we're waiting for somebody to drop one of those magic boxes in our laps?
Whoops.
Never saw such a family for collecting things. Now you take those outside and you lose them. Uncle Joe.
Hi, Kate. I've been over an hour on this window.
You've worn your finger to the bone.
It ain't mine. He framed me. What are you doing?
Oh, Mom told me to carry him down to the train so Charlie and Floyd can take him into Hooterville for the rummage sale.
I ain't finished reading them yet.
The Literary Digest, they went out of business in 1938. We'll never get this place cleaned out if nobody wants to throw anything out. What have you got there? Old hats? Those are my good hats. Take them back.
You don't throw away your hats. I don't see why I have to throw away my magazines.
All right, you keep your magazines and I'll keep my hats. But that's all. There'll be no more saving. From now on, everything goes out. Except that.
Well, Mom, you'll never use this again. This is when you had an 18-inch waist.
You never know. I might diet down to that size again.
More chance of the Literary Digest coming back.
You lost the camera?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Well, I'm not sure. You see, I hit this turbulence, and I was so busy fighting the controls that I...
Show me.
I'm sure it must have happened East of the Rockies.
Well, at least we know it's not in Disneyland. East of the Rockies. Well, and all we have to worry about is this 2,000-mile hunk of real estate.
We'll find it, sir. It shouldn't take more than 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days? Are you forgetting that little device that's set to explode 12 hours after the camera is disconnected from the plane?
No, sir.
Major Milbank.
Colonel, sir.
Major Milbank. We have less than 10 hours to locate that box and deactivate it. I only hope that no one else finds it. It's a miniature bomb.
What's that?
I don't know. I just found it over there.
Well, put it here with the rest of the junk for Charlie and Floyd.
Oh, it might be valuable.
Valuable? What is it?
Could be one of them doohickeys.
What doohickeys?
The electric kind. It's got wires on it.
Get rid of it, and get rid of all of this.
Where did you lose the camera?
These figures are just off the computer, sir. Figuring airspeed, drift, and...
Where did you lose the camera?
We've narrowed it down to less than 1,000 miles, sir.
1,000 miles. Took us 3 years to develop it. Now it's going to take us 5 years to find it. Captain Milbank.
Pardon me, sir. Major Milbank.
Captain Milbank. You go back to that computer room and tell them to put on more computers or whatever else they need. We've got to find that camera before it explodes.
Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, look what I found under the desk.
Oh, yeah, Kate. I was going to throw that away.
Oh. May I? Yours, sir.
500 miles? Captain Milbank, that's as big as the state of Rhode Island.
Oh, but, sir.
Lieutenant Milbank, we have exactly 5 hours left. Now, you find me that box.
Yes, sir.
I ain't going to throw this away.
But Mom told us to clean everything out of the attic.
You know what that is? That's a radio.
Oh, you're putting us on.
What are all those knobs for?
That's for tuning it in. In the old days, they didn't pamper the audience. If you wanted to listen to Merton Marge, you had to work for it.
You mean that thing still works?
Plug that in, I'll show you how to get distance. I think we're getting something.
Yes, the Dust Bowl. Joe.
Shh, I can't hear.
Did I hear you correctly, Lieutenant? Hooterville?
That's where the computer said it landed, sir.
Hooterville? Since when have we been using a funny computer?
I could have the figures checked, sir.
There's no time. Well, this is General Loomis. Give me a radio station in Hooterville or any city nearby. Hooterville. Of course it's in the United States. Contact the landing field and have a jet warming up for us.
Yes, sir.
What? WKPKW Pixley? Now, put them on. Yes, this is an emergency. I want you to put a bulletin on the air right away. Program of organ music from whose car wash?
It works.
You ever hear a tone like that?
Never.
Neighbors, we got an important announcement for you from Washington. Immediately following, we'll get back to our program of organ music coming to you direct from Hendrick's Car Wash in the heart of downtown Pixley. Here's the announcement. They want us...
They was just going to make an important announcement from Washington.
I've got an important announcement from Hooterville. Nobody's going to get any supper until we finish cleaning the hotel. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Control tower to Air Force 721. Lieutenant Milbank, what is your ETA, Hooterville? Come in, Lieutenant Milbank.
Sergeant Milbank.
Is this Air Force 721?
Yes, and this is General Loomis.
Yes, sir. Would you mind putting Sergeant Milbank on?
I thought I told you to get rid of this.
I did.
Well, how'd it get in the cupboard?
He must have drug it in.
Well, you drug it out. No, you can't keep it.
We've got another load to take down to the train. Anything in here you want us to take?
Yeah, take this.
I thought we already threw that away.
We did, several times.
Hey, Charlie, look. The Literary Disgust.
Literary Digest.
I thought they went out of business.
They did. These are old copies.
Of what?
The Literary Disgust.
This is the last load, fellas.
What is this?
Oh, we found it near the tracks. Does it belong to the train?
Let me take a look.
There's nothing like that on the train.
Of course there ain't if it fell off.
Well, throw it in.
Well, back to the mop and broom.
Let's get going, Floyd.
There's another one of them Masonic booms. Sit on.
Hear the announcement on the Pixley radio station?
No, I don't listen to them anymore since they stopped broadcasting Merton Marge.
It's a black box about this big. It's got 2 wires attached to it.
You say it fell out of your plane and landed somewhere around Hooterville?
That's right.
Ooh, that could cost you $10 or 10 days. We got a litter law in Hooterville.
I impress upon you how important this is. That box is dangerous. It's going to blow up.
What's going to blow up?
Well, stay out of this, Floyd. This is official government business. This is General Loomis.
No fooling. What country you with?
At the present, the United States. If I don't find this box within 1 hour, I don't know who I'll be working for.
Have you fellas seen a black box about this big with 2 wires attached to it?
No, the box we found was about this big.
You mean you know where it is?
Yeah, it's on the train with the Literary Disgust.
Let's go!
It's not there, sir.
That's funny. I tossed it on myself.
Hey, maybe you tossed it too hard and it went out through the other door.
Where did you load this train?
Shady Rest.
Where's that?
Well, 25 miles that way.
How fast can you get us there?
Well, once upon a time we made her in 68 minutes.
Can you make it any faster?
He had to stretch the truth to make it in 68.
Look, that thing's gonna blow up in less than an hour. Instead of talking, let's get going.
He's a good man, General. Ever think of making him an officer?
Move out! How fast you going?
My lunchbox vibrating?
Yes?
45 miles an hour.
Don't you have some kind of an instrument to tell you how fast you're going?
Got a speedometer.
Where is it?
A lunchbox.
It's busting. We don't want to lose it.
What? What's your steam pressure?
Oh, somewhere between 100 and 192.
Hey, what's that red zone mean?
Jump. You fly one of them jet planes?
Must be pretty dangerous.
Well, that's the last room. And I must say, you all did a good job.
Gonna take my nap now?
After we inspect the downstairs. Come on, let's get it over with. Let's take a look at the kitchen.
Only got 35 more minutes. We gonna make it? If we stay on the track. How fast you going now? Take a look at my lunch pail. Is it leaking coffee? Yes. And we're doing 55. Never gonna make it. Floyd, what's the pressure now?
Oh, it's reaching the point where there ain't no numbers.
You got a safety valve?
That's in my lunchbox. Charlie, you better whistle down a couple of pounds.
All right, now where do you think it fell off?
Let's see. I was standing right over there.
Well, let's go look for it. We've only got 15 minutes.
It's as clean as I've ever seen it.
Then are we through?
Until next spring cleaning.
Now can I take my nap?
Oh, go right ahead. But keep your feet off the couch.
Am I dead? Me too.
Huh?
It ain't here.
Well, what do you suppose it is? Well, could be somebody found it and took it up to the hotel. You fellas keep on looking. Come along, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you don't know what a relief it is to have everything neat and clean.
Madam, have you seen a black box?
I beg your pardon?
Who are you? General Loomis, the United States Air Force.
Oh, well, I'm Kate Bradley, and that's my uncle, Joe Carson, and these are my daughters, Billy Joe.
Have you
Betty.
seen a black box with 2 wires attached to it? It fell off of Corporal Milbank's plane somewhere around here.
Corporal?
What is it?
It's a new aerial camera.
Don't say anything, Kate. They may be spies.
If you know where that box is, tell me. There is a detonating device attached to it that is set to go off in exactly 12 minutes.
We don't have it anymore.
We gave it to Charlie and Floyd.
They said they might have lost it down by the tracks, but we can't take any chances. Could anybody have brought it back here?
No, Wait a minute. Here, boy. Here, boy. He might have dragged it back.
Yeah, he took a liking to it.
He don't have the same taste as regular dogs.
Where would he put it?
Well,
Look, come on, think. This whole place may go up.
We just cleaned it.
Where does he hide things?
Under the porch sometimes.
Corporal, under the porch.
Yes, sir.
Where else?
The kitchen cupboard. I told
Look,
you.
is it in there?
No.
We have to find out if he brought that box into this hotel.
Well, ask him. He's very smart.
Ask him? Now, look, son. Do you know where the box is? B-O-X?
See?
That ain't no box. That's a book. Stupid dog. You wouldn't want him in the Air Force. He can't even spell.
It's not under the porch, sir. And Charlie and Floyd couldn't find it down by the tracks.
8 minutes. Well, we just have to search this hotel from top to bottom.
Oh, any luck?
Ain't in my room.
Oh. Not that way.
Could have waited till tomorrow to do my spring cleaning.
It's not upstairs.
A minute and a half. We'll have to evacuate the hotel before it goes up.
Oh, but we can't.
Everybody out!
let him die.
General, if the little box is in the hotel and it goes off, we'll...
I'm sorry, madam. 45 seconds.
Where's the dog?
Oh, my goodness.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
Hey, you can't go in there.
But the dog. Look.
Go get it.
Me?
You. Colonel?
Colonel? Yes, sir. Here you are, sir.
Yeah! No, we'll disarm it!
Well, I don't know how, sir.
Me neither. Well, madam, the United States Air Force.
I don't want him to get too attached to the general. He might drag him into the kitchen cupboard.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
As you can readily see, these are the bills. And this is what I have to pay them with. 5, 6, 7. I owe you $1. I owe you $1.50. I owe you 47 cents. I owe you 6 bits.
Whose are those?
Uncle Joe, Uncle Joe, Uncle Joe, Uncle Joe. And this one has a paw print on it.
Well, he wanted to buy a can of flea powder.
Uncle Joe, do you think it's right to dip into the cash box?
Well, the manager of the hotel can't go around without money in his pocket.
Why not? The owner does.
Here's a bill from Doc Stewart for $38. Now, what's this for when nobody's sick?
That's what I still owe him on Betty Joe.
Well, maybe we should give her back and call it even. It's nice to know that one's sisters love her so much.
I might have to give you all back and get a refund in order to pay these bills.
Couldn't we pay a little on each one?
I got a scheme cooking that's going to pay off all them puny debts and make us all independently wealthy.
Uncle Joe.
Kate, this is not one of my usual visionary ideas. This one's solid, practical. I'm turning the Shady Rest into an ostrich farm.
Now, about these bills.
There's big money to be made in ostriches. All you got to do to start is to have a man ostrich and his wife. And before you know it, you got more ostriches than you can pluck feathers out of. Women stick them in their hats for decorations.
Uncle Joe, they haven't done that in years.
That's why it's the ripe time for ostriches. When the feathers come back, we'll have a corner on the market. Now, I can get this pair of ostriches.
No, you can't.
Oh, yes, I can. I met a fella down at the feed store this morning. He's selling off his circus. He had a couple of matched ostriches.
Uncle Joe, could I just get around to the real bad news?
Kate,
This is a letter from Mr. Gurney at the Pixley Bank. He's paying us a visit tonight.
What for?
Well, it doesn't say. But I suspect it has something to do with the fact that I haven't made a mortgage payment in 6 months.
Oh, Gurney's no problem. Well, I'll brief him on my ostrich farm and feed him a couple of slabs of your apple pie, and he'll be begging you to let them payments slide another 6 months.
Mr. Gurney, would you like another piece of pie?
Well, Hold on, Kate. Before you give him another hunk, have him answer the two-slab question.
Uncle Joe, Mr. Gurney is a guest in our home.
That is a two-slab question. Is this going to be our home or ain't it?
Well, Mrs. Bradley, I'm afraid I have some bad news.
That answers the question.
Mrs. Bradley, in order to obtain added capital for my bank, I've had to take in some new associates. The policy of the bank is much stricter now. They want their money.
Well, if I could just have a little more time.
Tell him about the deal I got cooking that's going to put us on Easy Street. We're turning the Shady Rest into an ostrich farm.
No, not now, Uncle Joe. Mr. Gurney, couldn't we have some kind of an extension?
Well, maybe 2 weeks. My associates won't like it, but I'll talk them into it somehow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you. But, Bedlow, it's only 2 more weeks.
I told you to evict Kate Bradley last night.
Yes, I know.
Gurney, I went to a lot of finagling to get my superiors at the C&FW Railroad to invest money in this tin-plated petty cash box. And I stuck my neck out for one reason only, to close down the Shady Rest Hotel forever.
Oh, how did I ever let myself get into a spot like this?
By being too soft-hearted to press people like Kate Bradley for the money they owe you? You got a thumb, man. When you got somebody under it, bear down. Squeeze a little. Get a little dirt on it.
Bedlow, you are a cruel, heartless, inhuman fiend.
I owe it all to a happy childhood.
Mom, we figured out how we're going to save the hotel. We're all going to get jobs, and we're going to pay back the money that we owe to the bank.
Now, hold it. If you've got any ideas about quitting school, forget them.
Well, we're going to get part-time jobs.
After school.
And on the weekends.
That's a coward's way out. Wouldn't any of us have to work for your mother to go along with me on the ostrich farm?
Oh, Uncle Joe, forget it.
Okay, that's the way you feel about it.
Where are you going, Uncle Joe?
See if I got any clean spats. I want to look presentable tomorrow when I go into Pixley to look for a position.
Now, you see, Mom, everything's just going to work out fine.
Yeah, you haven't got a thing to worry about.
Except making a ninny of myself in front of everybody.
Well, what's the matter with Mom? I don't know. Maybe she's upset because she had to give up her lifelong dream of living on an ostrich farm.
Well, Mom, how do we look? We're going job hunting after school.
Oh.
Billy's going to try and get a job as Doc Stewart's office assistant.
And Bobby's going to try the Hooterville Library.
What kind of a job are you hunting for?
Well, I don't know shorthand like Billy Joe, and I'm not an expert on books like Bobby Joe. So all that's left is picking apples for Ben Miller or helping Fred Ziffel out on his pig farm.
Well, whether you get a job or not, I'm real proud of all of you.
Well, Mom, we gotta go.
Goodbye, dear.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck. Yes, it gives you a wonderful feeling when a family rallies against trouble. Oh, you're a real Bradley.
Let's see, Billy Joe, when was the last time you were in to see me? Oh, I remember when I took your tonsils out.
That was Bobby Joe.
Oh, that must have been when your appendix was acting up?
That was Betty Joe.
When was the last time you came in to see me?
When Mom brought me in to have my formula changed.
If all my patients were as healthy as you, I wouldn't have any. Stick your tongue out.
But, Doctor...
Stick it out.
And...
Lovely, simply beautiful.
But, Doc,
Here,
there's nothing...
put this under your
But I
tongue.
don't...
Hold it.
Doc, there's nothing wrong with me.
Nothing wrong with you.
No, I came over to see if you needed someone to help you out in your office.
Doing what?
Answering the phone.
I answered myself.
I could take messages when you weren't here.
Sarah does that down at the exchange.
I know you need someone to tidy up your office.
It is tidy. Look at that examination table. Clean enough to eat your lunch off of. Had your lunch yet?
Yes, sir.
Well, I haven't. I'm soft-boiling an egg.
You know, you could use a filing system.
That is my filing system.
Oh. Hey, how about some typing?
I never answer any mail.
Oh. Well, how about... Hey, something's burning.
Uh-oh, my toast, my toast. Always gets to be a better color when I put the goggles over it.
How about your prescriptions? I could type them up real nice and neat so the druggist could read them.
Are you trying to get me in trouble with the medical association? Get me the salt. I'm sorry, Billy Joe, but I just can't afford to hire anybody.
Well, now, just maybe you could if I were to write to some of your patients and to remind them to pay up what they owe you.
They'll pay me when they get around to it.
Oh. Well, you don't happen to know of anybody that does need any secretarial help, do you?
Not offhand, no.
I see. Well, thanks anyway.
Hey, wait a minute. Is your mother in trouble?
Oh, things are a little slow, but everything will be all right.
Sounds serious.
Oh, nothing we can't handle. If we could just get a little work. Bobby, Betty, and Uncle Joe are looking for a job, too.
Uncle Joe, that must be serious.
Oh, now don't you worry
Wait a
about
minute.
it.
I've been thinking what you said about writing letters to people that owe me. Even if you get a few answers, it'll pay me to hire you.
But, Doc, you said...
I'll get the records of the house calls and office visits of people that owe me. Here. There you are.
Oh, Doc, are you sure you're not just making me a job?
Of course not. You're doing me a favor. Look, desk's almost cleaned up. Sit down now and get to work. My egg's getting cold.
Yeah. Oh.
No, Billy Joe, I don't think I've got any kind of work around here you could do.
Well, couldn't I feed the pigs for you?
No, that's Darcy's job. That's why I married her.
Well, maybe I could take over feeding them on the weekends so you and Mrs. Ziffel could go out together.
What for?
To have fun.
I never have no fun going out with her. All she does is sit there and worry about whether she fed the pigs or not.
If I feed him, she won't have to worry. I'm very reliable.
Well,
When was the last time you and Mrs. Ziffel went to town together?
when we got married.
You ought to try it again. Oh, gosh, Mr. Ziffel, I sure do need a job.
You trying to earn some money to buy yourself a new football?
Oh, no, sir.
That's good. Old Arnold here, he don't like football.
He doesn't?
No, his father wound up being one.
I'm sorry, Arnold.
It could have been worse, though. He made more of a name for himself as a football than he would have as a pig. He got booted over the goalpost for the final point that won the Rose Bowl game.
Oh, what do you say, Mr. Ziffel? If Billy and Bobby get jobs and I don't...
Oh, they're job hunting, too?
Yes.
Your mama having money trouble?
Oh, you know how it is.
Well, now, let's see. How would you be on taking care of young'uns for their parents?
I'm the best babysitter in the valley. Oh, but you and Mrs. Ziffel don't have any children.
But we got grandchildren. Arabella's done it again.
Yeah, Kate, the girls told us about your business problems. We're sorry to hear about it. Now, me and Floyd's got a little put away, and we'd be glad to lend to help you out.
Oh, that's very sweet of you fellas, and I appreciate it, but I couldn't.
Oh, it's just sitting there in the bank.
Yeah, we were always afraid somebody's going to knock it off the bureau and break it.
No.
Ask her about the laundry.
What laundry?
Dirty laundry.
Oh, how about the dirty laundry?
I don't know. How about the dirty laundry?
Now, what dumbhead here means is that we've got to find somebody else to do our laundry. We're not satisfied with the way it's being done.
Yeah, Charlie's always complaining I put too much starch in it.
Besides, we can't use the washing machine at the boarding house no more.
That's right. Mrs. Donahoo's using it to slosh our elderberries for a new batch of wine.
Yeah, you can't use it for a month afterward. Just purples up everything.
Well, if you boys want your laundry done, you just bring it over here and I'll do it for you. No charge.
But Kate.
No charge. And I want you to take along one of my fresh baked pies before you leave.
Doggone it, ain't that the stubbornest female ever you did see?
Yeah.
Now, there's just got to be some way to help her. Yeah. Ain't that the smartest critter?
Look how nice he printed that sign.
Hey, pony up for the dog's kitty.
No, Billy, it's still too slow. I'll show you, okay?
Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, s'en allait Martine, ding dong ding, ding dong ding.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Billy. We better try it again. Next time, don't lollygag when the dinner bell rings. Now, Mom, every night we'll report to you how much each of us has made, and you can keep a running account of it. And you can start by putting down $7.50 from the Shady Rest Secretarial Service.
$7.50.
And $5 from the Shady Rest Conservatory of Music.
Good.
And don't forget $4 for the Shady Rest Pig Sitting Service. And I'm going to pig sit for Mrs. Ziffel again next week.
And I would like to announce the formation of the Shady Rest Laundry. Got my first customer today, Mrs. Donahue.
But, Mom, you shouldn't be...
Oh, she begged me to. Her wash is still coming out elderberry purple. Hello, Uncle Joe.
Hi. Any luck in Pixley today?
No. Went to the box factory and offered my services for their executive ranks. They got no vision. They're satisfied with those incompetents they got.
Okay, we've got less than 2 weeks and a little more than $120 to go. Can we do it? You bet. Of course. What do you say, Uncle Joe?
These spats are cutting off my circulation. Why don't you go out and look for some honest work?
You know, $98.50 isn't bad. In fact, it's fantastic.
But it isn't enough. Yeah, I'm almost at the bottom of Doc Stewart's bills. Fred Ziffel doesn't want to go out with Mrs. Ziffel anymore.
And the laundry business is petering out, too.
Well, hi, Uncle Joe.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Uncle Joe.
Oh, Uncle Joe, we were worried about you.
Oh, I had a late meeting with the president of the Pixley Power Company.
Oh?
He ain't retiring for 5 years.
Did you have supper?
Yeah, Pixley Diner. Fella there offered me a job as a short order cook.
Say the fella needs a short order cook?
But, Kate, that ain't my line of work.
No, but it's mine.
Mom?
Look, I've been dishing up short orders all my life. Time I got paid for it.
But, Kate...
If everybody else can help, so can I.
Adam and Eve on a raft. Wreck 'em.
Adam and Eve on a... Miss Clegg?
You got my order?
Oh, no. What's Adam and Eve on a raft?
2 eggs on toast. Read the order.
How do I wreck 'em?
Scramble them.
Chooky auntie? Adam? Eve? Adam and Eve on a raft.
One liter.
1 liter. It's Clegg. What's the leader?
The special beef stew. Where's my egg order?
Well, Adam and Eve are wrecked, but the raft is still in dry dock.
Get with it.
There you are, Adam and Eve on a raft. Right.
Where are the French fries?
You didn't order any. All it says here is 2 E on T. It doesn't say a thing about FFs.
French fries always go with eggs. Look, if you don't want it...
No, I'll get him. Just keep your chair down. I'll keep Adam and Eve warm.
Where's the leader?
I'm getting to it.
Clean up the kitchen.
Oh, where's the broom?
What broom?
To clean up the kitchen with.
Clean up the kitchen means hash.
Well, why don't you say so? It'd be so much easier.
All right, an order of hash. What are you peeling the spud for?
For the FFs, for Adam and Eve.
They're already peeled and sliced. They're in the icebox.
Oh.
Just dump some into the grease.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, I've never seen such a stupid... Will you just
Yes,
dump
I'm
some
gonna
into the
do it.
grease?
I'm gonna do it right. I'll be with you in a minute, kid. I cleaned up the kitchen.
Where's my order of stew?
You mean leader. Beef stew? Eureka!
Oh, a hamburger to go. That means to take out. A Swiss on rye, a pair. That's two Swiss cheese sandwiches on rye bread. An order of beef stew. One order of beef stew. A stack of wheat. The batter's already made. Bacon and egg sunny side. And don't forget the potatoes. A hamburger, a pair, both with. A bacon and egg sunny side. And don't forget the potatoes. An order of hash. And an egg salad on toast. And a bowl of chili. How about my scrambled eggs?
Coming.
So's Christmas. Sorry for the delay, fellas, but I got this creep working for me today. She's trying to handle a 6-burner stove with a 1-burner brain. Well, at last. Mrs. Bradley,
Four is 12. $132.16.
Did you count the $12.50 I took in selling your mom's preserves?
Yes.
I could have done better, Kay, but your quince didn't go over too big with the public.
We're $5.84 short.
Hasn't anybody got any money?
We forgot Fred Astaire.
I'll get the kitty.
You're just wasting your time. How much would anybody pay to watch him lumber around on his hind legs?
I think we made it.
You hear that, Bidlow?
Curses, foils.
Are you coming in?
I like to be alone in my moment of grief.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Gurney. We were waiting for you.
We've got the money for you.
The whole $138.
This is cruel. Cruel.
$8.22 in cash, and the rest in accounts receivable.
From all the people we worked for.
Mrs. Bradley, I can't tell you how happy this makes me. Now, I'll just write you out a receipt for this.
Hold it! Don't give him that receipt.
Homer Bedlow.
As a representative of the controlling interest of the Pixley Bank and Trust Company, I am foreclosing the mortgage on this property. Everybody out!
I don't know how you got in that bank.
Probably crawled in through a sewer pipe.
And you can't foreclose because we can pay.
What? With these? Idle promises.
It's money that's owed us, and when we're paid, we'll turn it over to you.
Well, I'm not interested in the money that's owed you. I'm only interested in the money that's owed us. If you haven't got the cash, out you go. Serve him the papers, Gurney. This is more fun than the railroad business. Oh, Gurney, the papers. You've got them, haven't you?
Yes, right here, but they haven't been signed.
What?
I forgot to take them over to the county seat for the judge's signature.
Well, go get it.
It'll take a week to process them.
Oh, you incompetent nincompoop!
Okay, Bedlow, out.
Now, just a minute.
This is still our property and you're trespassing.
Quit it, you miserable cur!
Thank you, Mr. Gurney, for being so forgetful.
Oh, it was the only thing I could think of in case you didn't raise the money. But I'm afraid it's all I'll be able to do. You'll have to have the money by next week.
Maybe we can get everybody to pay us by then.
Money's just as short with them as it is with us. I'm afraid the only thing that can save us now is a miracle. I hope you brought your wife.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.